Well, hello and welcome to a dead and all messed up edition of The Horror Collector. I'm your host, and I have to begrudgingly agree with Harry Cooper that the cellar was, indeed, the safest place. I'm Terry M. West, also known as the hardest working horror author you've never heard of. Now, the first thing I want to do before we get into anything is apologize. It's been a long time since I've been on here, and I really don't have any excuse other than life. Life sometimes just gets in the way, and I have to say the world's been a really scary place, and sometimes it affects me as well, and the last thing I want to do is get on here and, talk about toys and my books and stuff, but maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. We all need entertainment, especially the way the world's been. So I'm back, and I'm going to try to be a little bit more faithful with the episodes. So the next segment's going to be showing off some recent acquisitions that are pretty cool, and I've gotten a few since the last time we talked. In the very last segment, I'm going to show off a few of my favorite Night of the Living Dead items. Night of the Living Dead is my favorite personal horror film of all time, and I've collected a fair amount of some pretty rare and hard to find stuff, so I'm really anxious to show that off. Before we get into the next segment, I want to talk about Squaredy Cats. Now let me show you something. This is Friday, and he's the creation of an old friend of mine named Kurt Marquardt. Now Kurt started this company called Squaredy Cats, and he makes these really, really cool, figures. And he's been doing it for a while, and it's been really taking off for him. He's selling them everywhere, and there are just many, many people that are really digging and collecting these. So I want you to watch this little segment I put together for his product, and then come back here because I got some things to show you. Are you squared yet? Squaredy Cats are soft, edgy mashup characters based on cats and scary things. Go to squaredycats.com and pick your favorite or pick them all. If you're interested in reading my horror fiction, why not start with the project I'm best known for? What Price Gory is an old-school collection of monsters and demons. It's been called a horror library must-have by the Horror Nation. It's available in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook, exclusively on Amazon.com. Okay, we're back, and it's time to show off some of my stuff. Now, the first thing I want to show you are a couple of Super 7 toys that I've picked up lately. Super 7's a great company, and they do all kinds of really, retro horror and, 80s kind of style, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Godzilla, Universal Monsters, Transformers. They do all kinds of stuff. It's a really cool company. And I noticed recently that they've been offering some pretty hard to find San Diego Comic-Con exclusives on their website, and for like a really good deal. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple. I want to show you what I've got. The first thing I'm going to show you, it's actually sold out now, so don't bother trying to find it on there. It's a Godzilla San Diego Comic-Con 2022 Japanese card glow-in-the-dark figure, and this thing is awesome. I love Super 7's Godzilla stuff. I mean, it just always blows me away, and I want everything they can possibly come out with. So that's the first thing I want to show you. There was also Jet Jaguar and Mecha Godzilla were part of the set, but they're all sold out now on Super 7. They were selling them for $20. These things go anywhere from $40 to $60, on eBay. It's only the place I saw them. But they still have some San Diego Comic-Con figures left on their main website for only $20 to $25. So go to super7.com and check them out. So okay, the next thing I want to show, this was the one I wanted the most. This, a Universal Monsters Frankenstein Super 7 Reaction San Diego Comic-Con 2019. And this thing is gorgeous. It's a translucent figure there. This one I had to have. Now they still have these last time I checked. I mean, there might still be a few left. But this is also Japanese card, and my wife reads Japanese, and she did verify that it does say Frankenstein. Here's the back of it. And what was really cool about this too was I happened to get one that, you know, wasn't punched. So that makes it even a rarer item. But yeah, this thing, just absolutely love it, dig it. And we'll hold on to it for some time. Along those lines, I was also fortunate enough to get Dracula, same series. There's two more that I want to get. It's Bride of Frankenstein and Invisible Man. And they're still available as of this writing on super7.com for only 20 bucks. They go for considerably more, you know, in the aftermarket like eBay and places. So, you know, my recommendation is when you're looking for something rare, especially if it seems a little pricey, always go to the manufacturer's website, because a lot of times they might still have it and they might still be selling it for a fair price, you know, so don't just immediately jump on something on eBay or wherever. Okay, and that's Dracula, and oh man, love that thing. Okay, a couple more quick things I want to show off too. This is like a, here, actually, I'm going to take it out of the plastic so it doesn't have such a glare. This is a novelization of one of my favorite cheesy movies of all time, The Incredible Melting Man. Just a super disgusting 70s drive-in flick. Some of the grossest, you know, Rick Baker did the effects, and just some really cheesy, gross stuff. I mean, basically. And this is, it's hard to find these novelizations, but I was able to get a hold of this one. And, you know, as far as horror novelizations go, this is one I'm proud to own, because this is not an easy one to find, like I said. And now recently, Regina and Terrence and I went to Midsummer Scream. It's a horror convention in Long Beach, and I got to say, it was really oversold and hot and crowded, and the lines were crazy, and we were kind of miserable. But the one cool thing, we got to meet Greg Nicotero. Greg Nicotero, I mean, you ought to know who that is. He's had a long association with George Romero. He, you know, he worked on Day of the Dead, a ton of other flicks. He's currently doing the Creepshow series on Shudder, and of course, you know, he's one of the executive producers of The Walking Dead. You know, he does a lot of episodes. But he happened to be there, and Terrence loves Creepshow. So he was able to meet him and to get one of his Funko Pops signed. Now, I didn't have anything for him to sign, so I kind of scoured. You know, I'm like, I'm at a horror convention. I should find something appropriate, you know, for him to sign, something cool. You know, not just something typical. So I went to a booth, and I actually found this. And it's a Muck Time Day of the Dead Dr. Tongue zombie figure. And this sucker is rare, man. I mean, this sells alone, like packaged and mint like this sells alone for about, it can sell from 120 to 100 and like, you know, 50 bucks. Now, I bought it for 80 at the show, and I had Nick sign it for 40. You know, so, but man, this is, I'll tell you, this was an awesome thing to have him sign, because like I said, it's just not something, you know, you see every day. So we're going to step away, and we're going to take one more break. But I do want to tell you, I have started a horror collector Etsy shop, and you can go on there and you can buy signed paperbacks of mine. You can also buy ebooks. And the ebooks you can't get anywhere else. Not on Amazon, not on Barnes & Nobles. I mean, you can only get a certain number of my ebooks at Etsy. And they're available in PDF and EPUB. And I'd love you to go there. If you want to support the show, please go there, you know, and buy some stuff. And you know, if you want it personalized, there's even a spot that you can put that in there if you want a signed book personalized. And you can get to that store by just going to my website, terryandwest.com. Click the Buy Stuff button in the menu, and there you are. You're at my Etsy store. Okay, so we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to end this episode with a few of my favorite Night of the Living Dead items. I'm your host, the guy that puts the terror in terror, the M in macabre, the W in weird. I'm your host. Say my name in the mirror 5 times, and I'll take a sunrise, and I'll sprinkle it with dew. I'm your host, and I go a little mad sometimes. I'm your host, Angel to some, demon to others, about 50-50 to most. I'm your host, and this is all for you, Damien. I'm your host, good, bad. I'm the one with the podcast. And now we're going to talk about probably the most influential horror movie of all time. That movie being Night of the Living Dead. Here's the trailer.
Of total terror. Night of the living, the dead who live on living flesh. The dead whose haunted souls hunt the living whose bodily food for these ungodly creatures. Night of the Living Dead. A bizarre adventure in fear. An experience in shock, more shattering than your strangest nightmare. Night of the Living Dead. A night with the dead who cannot die. A night of total terror. Night.
Now, a lot of people can argue with me and say, what do you mean it's the most influential horror movie of all time? Come on, there have been plenty of movies that have influenced the genre in numerous ways. They're like Exorcist, possession movies. There's like Nature Gone Wild movies. Let me tell you something. The zombie before Romero and crew made Night of the Living Dead was something you brought back through a voodoo curse that did your bidding. Romero and company, because I know he didn't do it alone, they took the mythos and they turned it into something ferociously original. You would not have The Walking Dead and a ton of other, zombie films that followed. I mean, in Italy, they made the whole thing like a huge genre, the Italian zombie films. So yeah, there are plenty of other films that have influenced the genre and have had a longing influence. But Romero and company with Night of the Living Dead made a mark I don't think any other filmmaker has made. So everything about Night of the Living Dead to me is perfect. It was the first horror movie that I remember. It was also the first one that really, affected me because I saw a lot going on in there. Even at a young age, there was a lot at work there and it spoke to me. And the older I've gotten and the more I've watched it, I see things in a totally different light now, like from viewing to viewing. I mean, as a younger guy, I saw things from Ben's point of view, which is Ben's Dwayne Jones, the main character. But as I got older and had a family and had a wife and a kid, I see things a little bit more from Harry Cooper's point of view, But the whole message of the movie is that we cannot survive anything this world is going to throw at us if we can't get along. And it's unfortunately a message that, continues even to this day, even in everything going on out there. But anyway, Night of the Living Dead, my top favorite horror film ever. And I'm going to show you a few of my favorite collectibles. The first thing I'm going to show you are three kind of rare video editions of the movie. This is the media. This was the media, edition, one of the very first editions of the film in VHS. This thing's in mint shape, man. I mean, it's gorgeous. Okay. This next one, it was from a series called Nightmares. And basically they took public domain movies, I guess you'd have to say, and they just repackaged them under this Nightmares banner. And again, this one is, pretty hard one to find. I mean, it's, it's definitely, I only found one. I'm going to show you a video that you can't find it anywhere. I got lucky. I bought it at a store closing like many moons ago. I'm talking like the early 90s. And I've only seen it once on an auction site, and they wanted $400 for it, and it sold for $400. But it's this very cool double feature, hard case. It's Night of the Living Dead and Dementia 13 in one spot. Double feature cassette. Goes on about the movies in the back, and when you open it up, it has these, has each video, on the side, and hey, 50-cent charge if you don't rewind, and guess what? That applies even to today. If you borrow these and you don't rewind them, man, you better bring 2 quarters in your hand, okay, or we're going to have a problem. In 1992, they had the very first Zombie Jamboree, man, and I bought a Go Pass, and I went there, and I met George Romero. I got to meet my hero. I got to tell him how much he meant to me, how much he inspired me. He was very cool. He even gave me a card for his office. He lived in Sanibel Islands at the time. Just really, really sweetheart. Really nice man. But this was my attendee badge. And look, my eyes are closed. That's for the when I lived in Sparkhill, New York. That's my beautiful, handsome face with eyes closed. And if you notice, the undead collector back there, it goes right on his lapel when I do my episodes, and he'll have to go back or he'll get really pissed off and he'll probably come try to take it from me. It's coming back, so just relax, okay? There's one thing that I can't really bring to the camera because it's very fragile, but I will show a picture of it. It's a model of Bill Hensman as the very first zombie in the cemetery. This is one that he sold me at like a Chiller Theater show like years ago. And it's in a glass container. It's gotten busted a few times over the years. He's missing some fingers, but I still love it. It's still near and dear to me, man, because Bill and I were actually kind of good friends. We talked a lot of times, at Chiller Theater shows, and he passed away, unfortunately. And it just means a lot. 2 more things to show you, and then we're going to bounce. This is an autographed picture that I had signed at Zombie Jamboree, and man, I'm so upset I didn't get everybody to sign because it was hard by the time I got around to getting stuff signed. A lot of the guys had already left, but we got Carl Hardman, we got Marilyn Eastman, both gone, and sorely missed. George Romero, unfortunately the same, and we got John Russo. Yeah, this is, man, I wish I had everybody's signature on there. It drives me crazy. Well, of course, Dwayne Jones wouldn't have happened because, unfortunately, he passed away, a while before I started going to conventions. So the last item I'm going to show you, and this is one of the rarest Night of the Living Dead collectibles you can get your hands on. Believe me, I know, because I'm a professional collector. This is Walter Reed, the distributor, sent this to radio stations, and what it is, they are radio spots, radio drive-in spots that told you about the movies. There's a short version and a long version, 30 seconds and 1 minute. And man, I've only seen one of these pop up, and when it popped up, I nabbed it because I realized this is a piece of history right here. And you can't see it, but the actual envelope, the brown envelope with the stamping and everything that it came in is behind it on the frame. Again, an incredibly hard thing to get that I'm privileged to own. That's going to be it for today. I think that went really well. Again, I apologize. No matter how scary and how dark things get out there, I'll remember that it's really good for us to get together and have these discussions, okay? I promise I'll be around more. And until next time, there's something that you should always remember. Horror collectibles can be a scary business.